Hello everybody, it's Omar Racing. In this video I want to show a major upgrade to my car. So around springtime of 2022, I have been just in contact with Fortunato. They are roughly local to me. It's like 2.5 hours away from me. And I wanted to kind of see if I can get Fortunato coilovers made for the car. And hopefully that also align with the goals of Fortunato. As you know, the Veloster N market isn't the biggest due to the limited number of cars that Hyundai produced, and also just overall the whole kind of car market was insane. So there was a lot of demand for the cars. There were markups happening, but there weren't enough cars being delivered. So because of that, there are not many cars, and it's also Hyundai is relatively new to this whole performance car industry. So after I started talking to them, after a couple of months, they told me that they were interested. So they were like, when can you bring in your car? And originally, I think I was planning to bring the car in May. However, I had a unfortunate situation happen and I wasn't able to bring my car. My car wasn't in the condition. Decided to postpone it and then push it to August, so roughly like end of August. End of August, I dropped off my car to Fortunato. They gave me a loaner and my car was there for, I think, 3 weeks, roughly 2 to 3 weeks. I think there were just like minor issues around, there was the wrong inner diameter spring in there. And that wasn't just sitting properly, so it was making clunks when it's turning. Right now, it has the correct one. I think it was just a simple mistake, but other than that, it has been pretty trouble-free. So I picked up the car, take a step back, and kind of go over what some of the lineup of the Fortunato coilovers. They have the 500 and then 510s, and those are one-way adjustable, and then there's the 520s that are two-way adjustable, and they have a remote reservoir, and they're all kind of upgradable, modular, and you can start out with 500, go up to 510, and then go up to 520 eventually. Yeah, so that's the whole setup. I wanted to kind of go to 510 setup because my car is primarily a track car. I do drive it on the street. I take my son to daycare, but it's mostly track car. I have pretty aggressive camber. I have camber arms and like end links with solid bushing. And then also stiffer engine mounts. Everything is like not very comfortable, folks. So going from there, I was thinking that it's going to get really worse. Like it's going to be very stiff. And luckily people at Fortunato, especially Devin, it's been great to work with him. And they know what they're doing. I had full confidence in the setup that they created, especially the coilover. I got the 510s, so they were able to use my car to develop 500 and 510s. So any Veloster N owner can go to the website and order. So I will show you the coilovers. So I took them off the car. I already have done one track day. I'm gonna talk about them more once I do more track days. Now I only have a single track day and I have like maybe a couple of thousand street miles. I've driven different destinations. I've driven to New Jersey from Virginia I've driven to Fortunato on the coilovers to get the kind of the final camber place done. And yeah, so far they have been great. I have no complaints. Sure, they are stiffer than the stock suspension. I am giving up that adjustment, like on the fly adjustment with the button. So I don't have any more like normal mode, sport mode, and sport plus mode for the suspension. It is just one mode and I can change it manually on each corner, which I don't mind. I'm fully willing to make that sacrifice. This will allow me to have like a much more sophisticated setup. I can, adjust the rebound and compression. So like I said earlier, 510s are one-way adjustable. So you can, with one click, you're adjusting rebound and compression. They have a whole chart and they make sure to tune and valve the dampers to the springs and the weight of your car so that you're using the whole shock travel properly. So let me show you the coilovers. Like I said, I've been driving these for some time now. Here you go. I took them off the car because I have 9-inch springs on these. Apparently I'm supposed to have 8 inches. So there was just I think like a mix up. I think when they were doing the R&D and they were testing it, they put a 9-inch spring because the Veloster N has like a lot of kind of travel. So that's why they put a 9-inch. Right now, with the wheels that I'm testing, it is a little bit in the way. So by going with an 8-inch spring, so this is a 70 millimeter inner diameter, 7K springs. I have springs arriving tomorrow, so I will be swapping to a 8-inch 8K spring in the front. So hopefully that will make it a little bit shorter. And right now, with the wheels that I'm fitting, the tire is hitting this section over here, right here, so we'll lift it by 1 inch. So So that should give me enough clearance. So by default, you get these clamp style purchase, so for the spring and the shock body. I'm getting thinner versions of those, especially like the lower ones. The top one, I'm not going to be changing because they don't have the 5mm thinner versions anymore. So this one likely will move up an inch and I'll be able to fit the wheels. So I'll go over that in a separate video of how I'm fitting the wheels and tires. So hopefully you'll be able to see it. Make sure to kind of like and subscribe this video so that I can keep on, pushing these videos out and kind of document my learnings. And here's a comparison between the Fortune Autos and my stock setup. By stock, I mean I still have adjustable camber plates. These are forged camber plates, and I can show you the camber plates on the car. So these are the camber plates I was running. They were pretty good. I think I was running -3.5 camber. They really helped with tire wear. I was really able to drive the car aggressively, but running that much camber on stock suspension, you blow the struts. So the struts get blown. I have a feeling that mine are blown because the buddy of mine who bought this from me, the whole setup with the shocks, he gave me his. However, he had horrible experience because I think the shocks might be a little blown and they're just like not controlling the dampening. So it's like pogoing around. I think the Fortune Auto coilovers were extremely timely. So that's the current setup right now. These are 24-way adjustable so that you can turn and then it clicks and gets stiffer as you turn. On the street, I just keep it on full soft, and so far they have been great. I have no problems with them. I think the only thing compared to the stock is like when you're going over bumps, whether it's at speed or overall going over bumps, you can feel the stiffer springs and the dampers are slightly stiffer, but for the most part, you don't really realize it. It's just my wife rode in the car and she couldn't tell that I was on coilovers, other than just like the extra noises. I think I had like a loose end link or something, or some stuff weren't torqued completely, so there were some sounds coming. Other than that, it was pretty comfortable. I would say if you're daily driving your car and you want to really lower the car or have more adjustability, I think 500s are a great choice. But if you're tracking the car, 510s are amazing. I took these out on New Jersey Motorsports Park and the car felt solid. I was, attacking curbs, and I was, I think, running 5 clicks in the front, 8 clicks in the rear. That was kind of like the recommendation I got from Fortune Auto. And I just wanted to kind of build up from there. Usually my driving style is to pretty much learn and understand the setup and usually drive around the problem. So now I have to kind of take a step back and make sure that I can understand each change that I'm making. So my goal is to kind of write down all my changes that I'm making. I'm also building on the side, like an app, like a web app, where I can keep track of these things. So if you're interested, let me know. It's not like production ready yet, but I'm like slowly building it. My goal is to make sure that I can easily, for each session, write notes down, write setup changes, tire pressures, the damper clicks, if I'm changing the rear sway bar setting, all of that. And this year I'm doing time attack. I can take all the competitive advantages I can get. Because the competition already has all of these things. So showing up with a Veloster N and not having some of those things is a bummer. Also, another thing, Fortune Auto put in Professional Awesome bump stops. Right now I'm running the final production camber plates. When I just picked up the car the first time, I was running the prototype one, and that one had more, I think, caster, but it didn't have as much camber. So this one provides some more camber adjustment, but other than that, I think I'm maxed out camber at the top. I was running camber plates and camber bolts together. With them, I could get roughly -4.5 camber, but I was, I think, running 4 in the front and then -3 in the rear. According to the tuner 3 rules or tuner rules in SCCA, I cannot have 2 camber adjustments. I have to pick one. So I decided to just keep the top part and take out the camber bolts, and that way I won't have much camber adjustment because I won't be playing with camber. Use all the camber that I can. So far, that's like how the current setup is. Also, with the wheels that I'm trying, I'm also going to be taking off the springs, assembling the shock, and then kind of put the wheel and tire throughout its whole range, and to make sure I'm not rubbing, so to make sure I'm hitting the bump stops way before the fender, the body itself. So those are some of the things I plan to do with the new wheels and tires that I have. Those are going to be interesting because they're pretty aggressive setup. Again, I'm going to post that video. So I'm going to be kind of rocking this setup whole season, at least, and then next season probably. And then if everything goes all right, and if I decide to kind of continue racing with the car, I might go with the 520s, and that will give me 2-way adjustable, but that will also put me out of the class. At that point, I might go like full aero, turbo swap, go get like the rear diffuser, get a TCR wing, front splitter, vented hood, and everything. Just pretty much make sure that the car get close to kind of, not, I wouldn't say TCR because TCR has much higher downforce, but just kind of get close to maybe like a TC, Veloster N TC spec. and get close to that. At that point, I might need to put a cage in the car as well, because the car is going to be way too fast. It's already, the speeds that I'm doing is already like very, very fast. I have a Samsung Hybrid S, but in the end, I think could use more safety. We'll see. Only downside of putting a cage in this car is that I can't put my son in the car and give him rides. He really enjoys riding in the car. Anyways, my goal in this video was just kind of introduce Fortunato to this channel and show you why I got it, and then some of my plans. If you have any questions about this setup, feedback, I'm not like sponsored by them, at least not yet. I've had good experience with them. They're local to me. Hopefully I can enjoy this setup and not have any problems. If I have any issues, I will definitely post about them, but so far they have been rock solid. Yeah, this upcoming season I have a lot of track days coming up. Most of them are just time attack, are close to I think 9 or 10 events. That's TBD because there's some family things happening, so I might not be able to do all of them, but my goal is to do as many as I can, and hopefully, place locally in my local Tuner 3 class, score enough points to get a good position. Granted, the class that I'm in isn't like the most popular. However, I think it still will be good to kind of get some practice. I also plan to do 2 Grid Life events. That also depends. One of them is for sure the New Jersey Motorsports Park event I'm definitely going to do. I also want to do Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen is much further, so it's a bigger commitment. Never been to that track. I've been in JMP Thunderbolt. I want to just thank you all for watching. I'm gonna keep on making these videos, going over my setup. I have a bunch of little parts that I've done that I haven't posted. Usually I don't have much time to work on the car, so if I have time to work on the car, I'm like working on it as fast as I can. And on slow days like this, where my son did go to daycare and it's a day off from work, I can record a video, work on setup, and just kind of take my time. So anyways, I want to again thank you all for watching. If you have any questions about the setup, let me know. Again, you can buy these coilovers now, so you can go to Fortunato. There's coilovers for Kona N and Veloster N. They're also looking for an Elantra N. So if you have an Elantra N, you want to put coilovers in your car and quality coilovers, just let me know, message me, or just contact Fortunato directly. If you're in the area, they can give your car as a loaner, as long as the schedules meet, and unless they already have a Elantra N in their hands already. So depending on when you're watching, there might be Elantra N kits already. I think the Elantra N is going to be a much longer platform that is going to keep on continuing. They're going to refresh it, possibly with a new engine with more power, but the same chassis will continue, so you will be able to use the same kind of coilovers on all Elantra Ns. Again, thank you. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.